Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns here. Watch my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. I'm back for Intercontinental Group of Awesome. Thank you guys so much for playing. Without me carrying on the story, I have read the synopsis. Thank you, Jen. And some very, very cool new characters have come to the world of Spire. That's what we're playing. Spire, the City Must Fall. This is our 22nd session of Spire. For keen eyes, you'll see that Jan's unable to make it today. It was a planned absence. Hope you're okay, Jan. Looking forward. I know you're okay. This is a planned thing. You're doing a fun, cool thing out in the out of doors. So we look forward to having you back. But now I will hand it off to our GM, Tyler. You have the calm.
Thank you very much. Hi there. I'm Tyler, he, him pronouns, and we are indeed playing Spire by Grant Howitt and Christopher Taylor. And we are quite a ways into it, and we are busily finding out things about the Steries, who are a noble drow family who have come here into Spire and seem to be, at least it appears to be, helping out the drow, trying to give them some pride again, trying to lift up the lower classes. But we are definitely hearing there's a little ickiness behind that, which isn't surprising because the series have a reputation for being pretty awful. But as I say, right now looks like they are nothing but benevolent and lovely folks wanting to once more establish that drow monarchy here in Spire, and who knows, maybe even get rid of the hated Elfir. Now, we had folks having taken 8 months out of Spire return home and find some changes that had gone on while they were away. So why don't we have everybody introduce their characters, and maybe if you feel like, say a little something that you discovered when you got back. Let's start with you, Sabine. Introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I am playing Vizar Shakebright, the Inksmith, pronouns he or maybe they, if you like. Vizar is a reporter, writer, stuff like that. He can make up facts and rumors. And last time he did make up a rumor. And that is now spreading throughout Spire. And I have to step back a little because, well, there were a lot of stuff, lot of things going on with him when he returned. He spoke with his sister, was not really happy that he had taken his sister's daughter on a mission for 8 months. But I mean, she'll come around. It'll be fine. I'll get her some nice knickknacks, and that'll be that thing. And then he found out that there was an empty seat on the council. No, there is a council that rules Spire, and it's made up mostly of Elfir, but there's one drow representative. But that one is going to be retired soon, and maybe Asteris will take that place. But the Vizar thought that might not be so great, and set out a rumor that somebody else was considered for this seat. So,
excellent. Yeah. Thank you very, very much. Jen, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about your character?
Hello, I'm Jen. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Funara, who also uses she, her pronouns. Funara is an Ezrite, a trader, a businesswoman. And last session, I learned that the Steries were using my business to launder money and smuggle slippers into Spire.
Yes, indeed you did. I'm going to skip over to you, Alex. Introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Alex. I use he, him, and I'm playing Gerald, who also uses he, him. He is the Masked, and he is a spy, sneak, expert of disguise and
CAD.
Such, and occasionally very petty. He has no issues at all with his relationship with Zara at the moment. Everything is perfectly fine, and there's no problem communicating through, dead drops to talk. That's normal. And yes, he snuck into the kind of housing projects, got himself a number and badge, and kind of managed to see a little bit behind the curtain of their kind of selecting process for putting people forward for slithers and upgrades.
Excellent. Thank you. You also stole some badges, if I remember correctly.
Yes, yeah, I stole the badges. Yes. And not for everyone.
And last but certainly not least, Rich, tell us about your character.
Happily, I am playing Aramitz Fleck the Lejan, that is the priest of Livier, the goddess of our people. And Aramit's last session was in suspended animation, moving slowly and not doing anything of interest. It's fine, all fine, no worry about Aramit's. There was lots of more interesting things going on.
Well, I think we should find out first. Aramit's getting home and having a chance to see what's happened while you were away. Heading to the chapel first, would that be your first destination?
Must understand what has happened to the flock during his absence.
All right. You begin making your way across the Blue Market and heading towards your chapel. And as you near, you can see that there are a good number of people coming in and out of the chapel. And from within, you can hear the sounds of people talking, not so much prayer, but more like happy talking, and as they're leaving, they're sort of smiling and saying goodbye to people as they go. And as you come up to the door, you look inside and you see someone you recognize, though perhaps there's a slight change. She is wearing the robes of a Lejeune, as you see Yvette.
Wow. I guess. She did say that she had interest, but still, so much can happen in such a short time. Yvette?
Aramitz! And she comes running across up the aisle and just leaps into your arms. I was so worried.
The clothes suit you. I'm sorry that I disappeared.
Are you all right? And she's like touching you, just making sure you're real and that you're whole.
I'm well. I'm so glad to be home.
Where have you been?
It's hard to describe and not sound like a madman, but I traveled to the lands of the Vermissian trains and seen that I was caught between time.
It had been months. I was afraid something had happened to you, that you weren't coming back.
If I had known, I likely wouldn't have gone, but I definitely would have told you. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Be sorry. I'm just overjoyed you're home. You're back. Oh, and she'll lean up, she'll kiss you on the cheek and just hold you tight. I've missed you so much. I've learned so much. I hope you're not displeased that I kept the chapel going.
Oh, I am so proud of what you've done. Just from this glimpse that I've had of the people as I approached, that the chapel is even standing. I know that Limier has blessed this, and you.
In the weeks after you were gone, I looked and I asked people, and well, I was worried. I know that you have dealt with dangerous things in the past, and I worried that perhaps you would run afoul of, but it didn't happen. and all I could do, all I could think was that I wanted to go and dedicate myself, as I had spoken to you about, that if you didn't come back, that having the lady as a part of my life would still mean you were alive with me.
That's lovely. I thought of you so often while I was gone.
The congregation has grown some, and we have received, there is a group, a charitable group that has donated to help. We have been providing some
charitable
food.
Group? What charitable group?
One of the noble houses, Steris, has an organization that provides for those who will feed the poor, and we have opened a small kitchen with that money.
That's good. That's good.
Come, let's go back, and she'll start leading you back to the back.
Of course, he looks around. He checks, of course, the mural. Looks from if there are people, he'll probably stop and talk to them. And
there is a whole group of those that you knew and who are so happy to see you. And a couple of them, oh, Father, we had worried that something had happened, but Lady Yvette had said that not to worry, that you would return to us, and her faith was clearly well placed.
Indeed, Limier has guided me back to you, to her flock.
And they'll press your hand, and they seem very happy that you're there. And as you get back to your kind of private quarters, you see that they have been left exactly as they were, except for one kind of small corner off to the side where there's a cot that clearly is Yvette's. She's got a few personal things just right around it. Everything else, though, is exactly as you left it.
You didn't have to leave this like a tomb. You could have moved everything around if you'd wished.
It's not a tomb. It's a home, and I wanted it to be your home when you got back.
Walks around to the desk, reaches down to the drawer where he kept the bottle, pulls it out. A couple of glasses which are dusty. Grab a rag and kind of wipe that out, pour a couple of glasses. And we don't have to play it out, but Aramis would say, so tell me what has happened with the chapel and the flock? Tell me, where can I help?
And she will start talking about that. It does sound like in that first month, she was very worried, didn't know what to do. And the chapel itself, without having someone to minister, was, people would come, but there just wasn't, someone there. And
Right.
that she had decided then that she would go and she would start receiving teaching. Because when she went, she arranged for kind of a traveling and itinerant priest, LaShawn, to come through to provide services.
Nice.
And she studied You know that it was about 6 months that you had studied there. Some stay in the cathedral longer, but that's generally the process. It's a pretty open process to become part of the church, and she's very excited about the things that she learned and her dedication to Lumiere. And then she requested that she be allowed to come back and establish here in the chapel. Though she says, I told them you would return, though I will say that, find his name, or Dances of the Silver Light had told me that more than likely something terrible had happened to you, that, well, he says you put your nose into things that weren't your business all the time. But I told him that I had nothing but faith that you would return, that in the night, Lumiere reassured me that you were safe.
Another blessing.
And since I've returned in these last few months, I've done what I can. I'm not the orator that you are, but I do have I have learned to have a more caring heart. And people have responded to that. And again, with the kitchen opening and the providing we've managed to do for some of the families who were in most need, the congregation has swollen some. We see over 100.
Oh my. And that is, before I disappeared, there was a time when Finara, who has a much better head for numbers, had worked with me to chart out when I might hope that, based on the growth rate as she saw it, we might see such a flock. And it was much longer than the time that I was gone. So
if it weren't for the Royal Benevolent Society, I don't know if we would have managed it. But they have been most kind. They have provided, as I say, money for food, and some of them have even been patrolling in the neighborhoods, protecting it from crime. I'll admit.
what have they asked in return?
They've asked nothing.
Tyler, freeze for you guys? Okay. All right, we'll pause. Hey, we're back. Tyler had to do a quick restart, but here we are. The last thing was the Eremites had asked that what is it that the Royal Benevolent Society is asking in return for all of these good deeds?
They ask nothing of the chapel or of me, but I've noticed them recruiting amongst the people. They give them badges, and it may be wrong for me to say this, but there's a certain selfishness in they take neighborhoods or buildings, and if you do not have their badge, they will not allow you in. They in fact will evict and run people off from those areas. They can even be somewhat violent. They say it is to make sure that they are safe and that the crime is kept out, but Lumiere's heart is open to all, and does not seem that they are the same. But again, they have been so kind and generous to us.
That is a conundrum. Well, thank you. Thank you for taking care of the chapel in my stead.
I'll collect all of my things
Why?
and vacate
Why? Why would
you're-
you do that?
your home, and there's no reason, I suppose, for me to stay. Is
I
there?
understand that you were raised as an only child, so perhaps you have a problem with sharing, and I will forgive you for such things.
You mock me, Aramis.
Gently do.
She reaches out and takes your hand. Is there a good reason for me to stay?
I'm sure that we could come up with a few.
She smiles.
Would you please stay and let us see if we can guide this flock and take care of this chapel together?
Yes, I honestly, I don't want another minute to go by where I don't see you. And I think we'll cut from that scene.
That's a good cut. That's a real good line to cut.
And so I think we'll have a kind of, we've had everybody gain some information and stuff. Seems like a good chance for us maybe to all get back together. Gerald, you've kind of gone furthest afield. What are you thinking? And we had our Dropbox sort of thing where Mazar had sent a message to Michaela that you were back. I believe, Gerald, you had stopped by and seen. So we're aware that that's gone on. But Gerald, where would you try to assemble folks, or expect to find them, or send message to get them, or whatever?
I mean, you might do just the Dropbox, or yeah, I think he would have set up a temporary meeting place somewhere and just alert everyone through the Dropbox, the drop. I mean,
You'd had that meeting spot that you'd set up, I think, before you
I would
went.
have another place.
Another
That'd be
place.
somewhere else. Yeah.
All right.
Cellar or an attic or.
Okay. Are you still here in the docks area? Or are you setting yourself somewhere different?
Docks. Yeah, an attic if somewhere in the docks.
All
Somewhere
right.
I feel like there's, home turf with the whole
Okay.
stairs thing.
Excellent. So all of you would have received, by clandestine means, a message to meet, and assuming all of you go, we arrive at this attic in a kind of down below. You could hear the noise of a saloon, but this attic has kind of a back stairway that leads up to it. The four of you are there. Five, I suppose, because Abbachigola said is there.
I'm going to take direction from the comments, and I think I wait until everyone is there, and then the window onto the roof opens and I step through.
You note the four of them getting there, but Zoran doesn't arrive.
There's an awkward 5 minutes of Gerald not coming in.
Oh, I will proclaim, okay, y'all want to bet that he's sitting out there brooding on the roof.
No bad.
Okay, fair enough.
A bed
It
involves
would
a
have been
hazard.
teased. Yeah, I know, it would have been easy, right?
But I hope Soren's all right.
I heard some rumors about
He can take care of himself. and dump the badges on the little table I've set up in the middle of the room.
And I look at you for now and say, see,
Aramis,
Gerald.
I wonder if we will warrant a greeting as well.
Finara, Bizarre,
Good evening.
Gerald.
Dorset.
Mm.
Well,
I take 2 of the badges back for Thurza and Zorn
I've
later.
certainly had a busy day back. How have you been?
I have a number and an apartment.
Congratulations.
The number means something.
You get a badge, you get a number. Easier to remember than names, they say. I would keep one of these on hand.
All right. No. Pocket one and hand one over to Goliset, because why not?
He puts it in a pocket.
All right. I find that in the meantime, my staff have been merrily humming forward with a presumed verbal agreement to import material for the stairs.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. Where's the catch?
Oh, well, the catch is that they are laundering money and smuggling slippers into Spire,
Okay, that
which come from a particular merchant and are smuggled in a particular way that I am aware of, but am not currently interfering with until such time as it becomes genuinely advantageous to us.
mhm.
Say that
No,
not
is
too
it?
early. And,
Macaros is missing, so she's been sounded pretty frantic in the messages she left us. I mean,
Yeah.
I've left her a message that we're back, that she can contact us, but I haven't heard from her.
she hasn't
So far?
replied yet.
Hmm?
She hasn't replied yet, at least not to me.
Well, other thing that is slightly important, I think, is the seat on the council, because the current holder is going to be out soon, as I've heard. And of course, they consider Asteris to be the next person to hold that seat. I have taken it upon myself to put out the rumor that no, actually they are considering someone quite different. And that is, what is her name? Hemi Quinn. She seems like Hemi Duchess Sullygro Quinn, Red Hunter, Bandit Robber. Maybe not the most trustworthy of persons, but better than Asteris. Also, I would like to keep Asteris out of official channels, because if they are kept out, then I think they will take more direct action against the Elfir, and that could be to our advantage. Because I do not like the Asteris, but I also do not like the Elfir. Best course of action will be if they had some kerfluffle amongst themselves, right?
Sure, we can both parties.
Yeah.
But who's going to get caught in the crossfire of that? They're recruiting heavily. I looked into the ledgers.
So what is your suggestion, Joe? Throw in with them?
No.
I will make no equivocation here. If at any point it is chosen amongst ourselves that we will throw in our lot with the Steries in any way. I am done with this, Sam.
Thank you for your clear stance for now.
And yes, Gerald, I understand the consequences.
I think the consequences of not acting against the Steries would be worse.
For certain.
Yeah, but we can use them to weaken the Elfir.
They're sorting their recruits to see who is worthy of a slither. Altering
Yeah,
them.
I agree that the situation presents us with opportunities. I believe that making the most of these opportunities will require a careful hand. The Steries have an incredible sales pitch
they do.
to our local drow, which is,
Are-
of course,
They are helping people.
they are helping people. They are genuinely helping people. And they are also providing them with a separate kind of hope. A drow population strong and proud again.
Mhm.
It's been long enough that romanticism about the home nations is very easy to capitalize on and spread. How many people here know about all of the different civil wars or internecine conflicts?
We're not putting that out there as a ministry precisely because we want people to think the homelands are glorious. If Drow were to rule themselves, that would be glorious because that gives the ministry the movement against the Elfir power.
Absolutely. And I say that despite all of its warts, the home nations have a lot going for them versus Spire and this subjugation, of course. What is better than this is better than this. Better is always better. It is not perfect or nothing. It is simply to say that it's easy to lie to people about something they've never seen.
Yeah, and as I said, we've been doing that. We've been doing that for a while now. That's not the Steries that have started selling this dream.
Sure. And we have first claim to it. But we
they
need
can,
to
of course, not
do
exploit
it.
that.
We can,
Sorry.
exactly. They can steal our work and build on it and direct it at something that they don't have to hide.
If we could just keep the good and excise the bad.
Okay,
You have
how
their
do
shipping manifest.
Oh, of course. I have all of the records that I need for anything that I might want to do. Of course, I'm sure that I don't have invoices for contraband.
Would we be able to, short of direct action, inconvenience those transports?
Inconveniencing transports is direct action, to be quite frank. However, at any point where we decide that we have strong motions to make, oh no, this furniture shipment fell into the river. It is lost. Oh dear.
Tragic.
Warehouse collapse. You know, bad things happen frequently, and insurance policies exist for a reason.
There'll be anger. Even if we cover our tracks,
Oh, of course.
there will be.
But they
If
can
not
do.
us, someone will be scapegoated.
Yeah, but they can't. If that doesn't happen in Spire itself, they can do a lot, right? Because they still want to be seen as benevolent, mostly.
Mostly.
You've been quiet, observing them as they're talking. What are you thinking?
That's what just clear his throat a bit. And these are all excellent ideas for handling Fanara's part of the problem, but what if we consider if the slivers did not exist as part of this equation, everything that the Staries are doing otherwise, we could either benefit from or attempt to change slightly. The slivers are the unacceptable part of the equation. Agreed, or are there other factors that I'm unaware of?
You don't want to hear my stance on nobility in general. But
Well,
yeah,
Fair.
the slivers are a standout among the objectionable things. And I believe that the other objectionable portion would be the selfish and instrumentalizing ends of Steri's charity,
Agreed,
which
agreed.
Aramis, you have given me an idea that I don't mislike, which
What is
would be
that?
to take what they are doing and do it even better.
We would need a
Currently,
figurehead.
they provide food. And that's well and good, and people need food, and lives are much improved by removing the fear of hunger.
not all that they're giving Fanara. They're giving homes.
And they're giving homes.
And
And
security.
those homes, what do those homes require? Gerald, you seem to have known a bit more about that. What do you do in return for that home? You are
You are
muted,
muted,
sir.
my love.
Well, they took a list of skills, so funneling people into specific jobs, tasks. Some were being redirected for darker work.
Hmm.
Well,
It's-
all right.
I
What
think
I'm
they are
proposing
Go
is, I
ahead, sorry.
believe, no, it's fine. It's what I'm proposing, I think, is to do more than simply provide people with food. What if instead we provided people with a way to control their own food supply?
Interesting. How do you propose?
I suppose I'm proposing distributed community gardens and other forms of public infrastructure that assist in the availability and free distribution of food.
we'd have to protect against sabotage.
If you ever been to Derelictus for any length of time, Fanara?
A little
First
bit.
of all, there is no land where you could build a community garden on. Second of all, there is something even slightly valuable there. People would take it because they're
Oh.
desperate.
Hard things to do are challenging to do. That's
Yes, I know, but I feel that you are overly optimistic about the chances of projects such as this. But to build on that, it's not just food people need. Food is for the body, but what about the soul? What about the spirit? What about the mind? And that is where we can actually outshine them. That is where Aramis can actually take a leading role, because Linier speaks to him. And having your basic physical necessities met is nice, but the mind of a person strives for more.
well, once
Soul strives for more.
once you have the food, then you engage in the prayer.
Maybe do we absolutely need to antagonize the Staries here? Or can we work with them?
Gerald, someone is coming. Someone's coming up the stairs
Everyone.
very quietly.
Can I recognize footsteps or anything, or like
There's
level
only
of stealth?
one person that you've known who could get this close without alerting you previously.
I was waiting to see when I would you'd catch up with us. Come in.
Almost like a shadow, Blakely slides inside the door.
Huh?
My friends, it is nice to see that you have returned.
Good evening.
The masked god said that you were safe and would come back in due time. I have some information. She looks at all of you, but kind of looks over to you, Gerald. Your ministry, one of its cells, someone has tipped off the authorities about it. There's a mole inside of the cell. Authorities are on their way now.
Do you know which one?
I do. They are currently located in a sewer drain near the river, close to the citadel. The battleship, I think it might be called.
How much time do we have?
They'll be there within the hour. I can slow that down a little in my official capacity, but it's the mole you have to worry about. And I believe that the mole is working for, and she's going to give you a name that's worth remembering, the House of Timely Endings. I've learned a bit about them. They apparently work for the drowned kings, the Staries. They're setting up their own ministry, and it is the house. Now, I wish you luck, and I look forward to hearing about all of your time away. But if I'm to slow down the paladins, I really must go.
Go.
She turns. She says, oh, by the way, did you know that your friend, Sorden, and a group of knights have gone underneath the river?
We were not aware.
No.
I saw him and a group of them getting into some sort of contraption and lowering themselves beneath the water.
That sounds unsafe and therefore characteristic.
Well, good luck. I'm sure you'll be successful.
Good luck yourself.
And she slips out of the window, and we'll take a break there. Alrighty, Blakely has slid out the window and dropped that news in y'all's laps.
To be clear, did she give us the name of the specific mole, or?
She does not know that. She didn't know that,
Okay,
did
no,
not
she
give you
didn't.
that.
No.
You do trust that Blakely would not expose us in this manner. Correct,
I
Gerald?
trust that she's telling the truth.
All right.
What we do with that?
Do we go and warn them? But if we do go and warn them, then of course the mole will have seen us, our faces, unless,
No, one of us can
yeah, that was what it's getting at.
indeed.
We've got the ability, and if the Staries are building up their own ministry, as well as, of course, their own populace and their own infrastructure.
Mhm.
Slowing their momentum on that is valuable.
Yeah.
All ministers are valuable right now.
Or we swap out one of their ministry agents for one of ours. Keep that cell operating.
How do we know which one of them is the Steris operative, though?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Huh?
You can't just guess. You have to
Yeah.
draw them out.
Because if there's
We warn
5
the,
people.
we warn the cell, we get them moving.
Whoever lags behind.
Gets replaced.
Hmm.
We don't have time to discuss this long.
No.
True. To make sure that we're understanding, so there is a mole
Mhm.
which has revealed a minister to
So the paladins.
paladins.
Cell.
The cell.
So and so the cell is in danger.
Yeah.
But the mole is at the House of Timely Endings. So does that mean that we have 2 things to deal with?
It's possible that the mole is part of the ministry cell and is with them right at this moment, but we don't know that.
That would have been the implication she was giving.
Oh, okay.
Then we should travel immediately, and we may have to ferret out a mole and take care of them.
I think we can do that.
And so y'all set off.
Yeah.
Because, and I look at Aramis, in the stories, the mole always betrays himself.
When you write them, yes.
When you head out and begin moving quickly through the alleys and streets heading towards the river, if you're on the map, you can see there's the big structure that's the citadel, the big ship looking thing there that is a kind of a bulwark of the authority here in this area. It's also a bit of a prison, but you're being directed towards where a storm drain comes into the river itself. And so I'll hold this up as we get within about a block of it. This is somewhere that I'd say, Gerald, you for sure are aware a little of the area around here. Bizarre, you probably wander enough in your pursuits of journalism that you kind of know the block. The easiest access, because there's kind of like, as you get to the river, it's got one of these things of, there's stairs that lead down to the river shore, as well as docks that are up above where ships can come in. So this would be kind of, you go down to the river bank, and there are these sewer exits that come and just flood into the river with all of their icky. So you're near. What are you doing, Gerald?
Okay, so we know the location of the cell.
You know where the authorities are being sent, or the mole is
Yeah.
The
told
House
you
of
can get 'em.
Timely Endings is where we were told, if I remember correctly.
That is the organization. Okay, that is the shadow ministry that the Steris are setting up. They call it the House of Timely, Endings. The mole is a part of that, and at least the implication has tipped off where this cell is going to be meeting, so the authorities can come and get them.
Thank you.
I just like turn to the others. Give me just a 2-minute head start, unless you hear screaming, and then I move as fast and quietly as possible to kind of approach this cell to see if I can sneak up on them and at least get first eyes
Gerald,
on.
can you take me with you? You've done that before. Because I have an idea how we kind of identify the mole, but I need to be there, I think. I'll work from here.
A moment of hesitation, then I just like nod and I look at the, Bizarre's feet and like, impractical shoes, and then I take out my mask that'll block out all sound.
All right.
And then grab Bizarre by the hand and just run, since I don't have to take that into consideration.
All right. Let's you find the entry to the sewers that you were pointed to and begin making your way in. Let's have you do a sneak. Plus this would probably be crime or low society.
Don't have those. I should. I don't.
I can help because I have low society at least.
Well, or you could. Well, do you have sneak? Because
I
you're going to
have
have to
sneak.
roll as well, Sabine. I'm just putting a leader with the idea that if he succeeds,
but
then he'll give you an extra die.
Oh, come on. Of course I can sneak. I can do everything. I'm a writer.
All right. Would you like to take lead on this then?
I mean, I can hide us from thingies,
Mhm.
but of course I have enough confidence to do that.
All right. Well, then why don't we have you lead us in? So looks like you're rolling 3 dice.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I believe that you're helping, aren't you?
He's going to have to roll as well.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yes.
There's no help in a group action.
Damn it. Okay. I guess then, and it's D10s.
It is. And you're rolling 3. And it is Shadow that you have to worry about here.
Okay. Well, it's a 9.
Very good. So you, Gerald, will get to roll with an extra die because your leader succeeded. So you're rolling with 3.
I have no domain, but I've got mastery and sneak.
Then, and you've got mastery and sneak that's giving you a knack, or mastery and sneak from something else?
Well, I got 2 knacks in sneak.
Mm-hmm.
I've been so sneak that's been turned into 2 knacks and no domain.
All right. So your knack, I don't know if either one of your knacks are hitting.
Shadowing, that's the
Following people.
Yeah, as they're moving, yeah. Okay, but I got the extra one to help, so 3.
Correct.
Okay. Did I click the roll with it? Try it again. 9.
Very good. The 2 of you quietly into the shadows move into the sewer, and as you head in a little ways, you begin to hear low voices talking, and you can see a light up ahead. And where the sewer opens up, you see there is a group, and I'll say you've gotten close enough to look in without being noticed at this point. You see that there are 4 people dressed. Yes.
Because I have this move.
What would you like?
It's the next logical step, right? Because this mole, he works for the Staries, and the Staries, I mean, the Staries, they like to put their sign on things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it stands to reason that from this vantage point, we could see either a tattoo or a symbol, or maybe the nub of a sliver poking out of his neck or something like that.
Oh, so you're wanting to take a look and see if you can see that?
No. I don't want to take. I want to say that I see that.
Oh, your next logical step move. Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's something that is present.
Yeah. If it could conceivably be present, and if it would be there in a schlocky Pulp Fiction story, I think both are reasonable assumptions for the tattoo or symbol. I'm not. I don't know if I can say it's a sliver. I would.
Okay. As you get up there, the two of you are looking in and observing this meeting. You've got 2 men and 2 women who are currently, they've got kind of like a crate, and over the top of it they have a map. They're looking around on it, and as you come in or get close enough, you can hear one of the women say, what we need to do is, as quietly as possible, get on board, retrieve the items we've been asked to, get off. This shouldn't be any sort of trouble. This is just a snatch and grab. And one of the men goes, hey, we've got this thing. This is low priority for us. All we got to do, let me head up. I'll take a look in, then you folks can follow right behind. And you start to hear some agreement from that. But as you're observing the guy who said that, you notice he's sort of like fidgety, jumpy. And, you've been around folks that are quick and suspicious. I mean, Gerald has a little bit of that in him himself. This guy has that sort of always looking around, and you see for just a moment, he moves way quicker than you think a person should be able to move, as he sort of darts around over to pick up his weapons. That strikes you.
I knew it. And I say very quietly to Gerald, I slivered up.
The fidgety one.
Oh, he's too fast. Can you grab him while he gets out and the rest of us talk to the other 3?
I just nod my head.
Good.
I try and shadow.
All right. He says, all right, just give me some time. Stick around the entrance. I'll give the whistle. You'll know when to head in. And he starts heading off down past the 2 of you as the other 3 sort of start collecting their stuff. The woman who's talking before says, remember, we're looking for the books. We're not snatching anything else. We're not trying to hurt this merchant. These are just things that, and I think she'll say a name that you don't recognize. We'll say Latira. That's what Latira's asked us for. We want it to be as easily in and out as possible. So they're still chatting.
I'm backing the other 2 just to come.
All right. And Fanara and Aramis, it's been that couple of minutes y'all were supposed to wait. And so you've worked your way to the bank.
Mhm.
Gerald, your intent was to shadow this guy, correct?
Yeah.
So I think Fanara, Aramis, you 2 see a figure moving quickly, very quickly down the riverside and kind of moving up towards steps coming up to where you are. Remember, y'all were on that upper level. He's starting to head up these steps. And he's fast. And I'm going to, I'm going to give Gerald, let's go ahead and have you do your sneak with the shadowing. And again, you're looking at crime or low society. So 3 dice.
I'm going to do shadowing. sneak and for just being me. Yeah. An 8. I think I'm like, if you could hear me, there'll probably be heavy breathing as I'm just running at full pelts, just trying to make sure he doesn't see me. Don't care about noise because I've got the bubble of silence around me.
Gotcha. So he hasn't noticed you. I don't think Fanara and Aramitz have noticed you in the following. So Aramitz, Fanara, you see this guy. It is pretty certain he left the area that they went into. You could feel confident of that. What are you two doing?
We'll wait for a signal from somebody else. There's no screaming.
There is no screaming. Should we trail after this person? Perhaps I trail, and when he likely sees me, you can trail after.
Well, seems like if he's there with the cell, he runs out alone. It's to scout something and then come back.
Unless he's the mole and he's getting out before the paladins arrive.
Then the non-moles should be saved in some fashion, right?
Certainly.
Well, then let's go and make a difficult case.
All right.
You see him kind of move by you, giving you very little attention as he keeps moving off. As after he dips around a corner, you head down the stairs. Czar, are you waiting for your backup? You know they're supposed to be coming.
Yeah. Oh, wait. No, we can't go in there, all of us, because one of these guys might still turn into a mole. Right? Because not even if they're not now, you never know. So it's better if you only see one of us. So, okay, I'll go in.
Are you going to cover your face or anything? Or
I'm wearing glasses. Is that covering my face?
no, it is not.
It's not. I'm not that good at I mean, I'm great at sneaking, but I'm not good at disguising myself. I claim now, which is it's not true, but you know, Mizar, he lies to himself a lot. No, this is what he wants to do. He wants to step in because that's the story in his head.
All right. You step in and they turn around quickly.
And he says, hey, did you know that there is a bunch of paladins coming here? Should go and see them. They wear very fancy armor.
They draw weapons on you. Who the hell are you?
Oh, I'm just a concerned citizen.
They're giving you the eye. Paladins? What are you talking about?
You must have seen paladins before, right? Big, tall, strong, armored. I would get out of here if I were you. And what is that book that you're after?
You see their faces sort of close shut.
Yeah, damn, I knew I shouldn't have said that.
As I think about this time, you could hear a little bit of sound as the two of you have reached the entrance and we're going in, right? And so yep. You two can get up there, or either one of you hiding, well, 3 of you, but Golaset has probably at the very least pulled up like a scarf to cover most of half of his face. He's also loosened up his cudgel.
Yeah, no, I've got a fail situation going on.
Aramitz?
I mean, if the fight happens, I'm gonna be doing the bright, shiny thing out of my head. So I think I'm just entering the place. Yep.
All right. Then the two of you will hear Palad's coming. You probably should go, oh, and what about that book you were talking about? As you get, that Bazaar says, as you get up towards where you can enter into the chamber, the 3 that are there with you, Bazaar, say, that's none of your business, buddy. Appreciate the warning. It's not like Free Drow are able to But you could see they're like collecting shit and getting. I mean, we could be down here. We're doing nothing wrong. You're muted, my love.
I know. Of course not. Of course not. I wouldn't say that. I'm just curious about the book, really, and what Latira wants with it.
They really are giving you. Why don't we go outside and we could talk about it, buddy? And they've moved up closer as the two of you step forward, and they like kind of pull. You didn't say you had friends with you.
Oh, I have lots of friends. I'm a very friendly person.
Good evening. And I'll actually make the ministry hand signal.
One of them signals back.
Very good.
Should have done that before, right?
There's paladins on the way.
Mm-hmm.
We have good intelligence leading to this. So yes, you have very little time to move.
Well, all right.
Okay. Oh, and don't worry about your quick friend. He's a mole.
What?
Come on. Come now. We can discuss this when the paladins are somewhere else.
They'll grab their shit and begin following you out. They still look on guard, but you've given a proper signal, and they begin following you out. You get out to the riverbank, and we're going to cut at that point over Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
Your quarry has kind of, despite having told them he was heading towards some ship or vessel, has in fact moved away from the riverside and gone up about a block. And it really has taken you hurrying to keep up. He isn't like being particularly stealthy, so it's not hard to see him. He's just really fast, kind of darting from corner to corner to spot. And as he gets to a corner, you're still, 50, 60 paces away.
Yeah.
You see him reach into a bag, and he pulls out a mage light and a contraption, and he's starting to put the mage light into the contraption at this distance. Do you wish to do anything?
I come to a halt behind something that I can just peek around into some shadows. It seems like he's come to a stop for a moment.
Yeah.
I want to see what he's doing.
All right. He puts the mage light in the contraption, and it seems to have like some sort of mirrors effect as you see that light shine very directly and into a kind of a straighter line, and he begins shining it up on the tops of the buildings. It's giving off a kind of purpley red light. He shines it. And after a moment or two, you begin to hear booted feet tromping that direction.
Can I see his face?
You saw him before. Yeah.
How long are those boots?
You probably got a minute, maybe, at most.
I think I've been around Bizarre for too long. I think I'm going to try and get the jump on him. I want to see if I can at least knock him out. Actually, no, I'm not even attempting the knockout. That feels like it could be too sloppy. I want to close the distance while he's not looking and
try and axe him.
Yeah, just.
All right. I think this is sneak. Unfortunately, I don't think you have a domain for it. It's definitely an order or high society, but it is dirty work.
Yeah, and I have a thing that's in eyes.
Mm-hmm.
First time using a weapon in a situation, I roll with mastery on that, on fight.
Excellent. Does it say specifically for fight?
Oh, actually, I'm not sure if it says specifically.
Let's hope not.
any weapon you carry has the surprising tag. First time used in this situation, roll with mastery.
Right, there you go. Because you're using sneak instead of fight in this instance. So you get to roll with mastery. That's another die. So yeah.
I do have a knack called dirty work. I don't guess that doesn't
Yeah, I
stack.
think it's coming in. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah.
So
What they do when they say mastery, generally what that means is it's an effect that's going into place that you don't pick a knack for. It's a temporary, so you get mastery that just gives you a die then.
So 4, or am I
4.
missing a 4? Okay. A 7.
7 is your highest, eh?
Yeah.
All right.
And it's a dagger. So
You I'm going to allow you to roll your dagger's damage, but you could roll twice to take the highest because of having gotten the drop on him.
And a dagger is D3. Okay. Clear those D10s. The highest is the 3.
Very nice. You slip forward quietly, and I believe you were
Yeah.
you dig your dagger in, and I would like for you to roll me a d6 for your stress. It's going to shadow.
5.
Ooh, place that in there, and you will be taking fallout. In which case you can remove some here in a sec, or go ahead and remove some.
I have 9.
Is it 9?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Is 9.
Oh, well, then it is possible you won't roll a d10. I don't have to roll her up, so I normally roll it myself. But
So roll 1d10.
yeah, try to get a 10.
We got 5.
Okay, yes, you are taking fallout. And you can remove 3 because you're taking the fallout.
I'm gonna say, I mean, okay, move 3 from whatever.
Wherever.
Yeah, okay.
And you're going to take a
I'll take it
minor
from that shadow. So.
a minor fallout. And in this case,
do you want to know what I was intending to do, just so you know what
sure.
you can
Yes.
mess with?
What were you intending to do?
I was planning to kick his corpse quickly into whatever shadow is nearby, or drain, or whatever, taking that mage light, and then becoming him, or whoever's approaching.
You stab into his neck and slice across. But you do not manage to catch his vocal cords in time for him to not scream out "What?" Quite loudly. Your fallout here is going to kind of fall into a choice of you can be compromised, or you can have this. What basically it's going to be is you can either get this guy and get away with him, or you could try to stage it the way you want to, but you're probably going to be compromised in that case.
Again, too much experience with his art. I'm going to try and stage it.
All right. And so you try to kick his body off to a corner and take over his face, correct?
Yes.
As running up now, you see a guardsman. There is a troop of 10 of them, and the one in charge comes up. Hey, what? We saw your signal.
I got made.
You We
I think
saw.
Cell-
Go ahead. We saw your signal. You can tell he's waiting for something.
Ceres, praise you got here in time. Look, the cell, I don't have time for stuff. The cell, they cotton on. If they get loose, get free, they're going to pass the information on to the next cell, to the next cell. We
Head
lose
in,
supplies.
head in. Move, move, move. And he starts moving, but he moves right there next to you.
Yeah.
It says, why don't you stick with me?
Good idea. I think I dealt with the one that followed me, but I don't know if any more were on my trail.
He's reaching to grab you. You gonna let him?
Yes.
Grabs hold of your arm. Says, gotta ask, you got any weapons on you?
You think I'm gonna go into one of those cells with no weapons?
Why don't you
take a dagger out?
just lay it on the ground? You know, we got to make this look right. So there's no
Yeah.
breaking your cover.
I drop the knife, and I'm definitely trying to get a read on where he's leading this situation, because
It doesn't take much, because as soon as you put the dagger down, he reaches to grab your other arm and is shoving you to the ground.
I'm going with this.
All right. You get down to the ground. He puts a knee in your back as he reaches down and pulls out some cuffs. You didn't know the code. You didn't say the response. We're going to have a little talk about this back at the station.
No one else has joined him yet, has they?
He's run everybody else off in the direction. It's just him and you.
Handcuffs?
First one's owned.
Yeah, I'm going with him.
Okay. He clicks the second one on.
I would like to be trying to see if I could pick the handcuffs, though, with fixed skill.
Yeah, as he kind of hauls you up, you could begin working out. We'll come back to that in a moment, though. The other three of you, with the three of that cell, have gotten to the riverbank, and they're kind of looking to you. Yes, to me.
Sorry, I have a question. And I
Okay.
didn't mean to interrupt you. That's why I'm signaling that at the
That's okay,
nearest
go ahead.
possible. Okay, because I have done a thing that would let me recover stress.
Yes, you've done something risky.
Done something reckless for the sake of a good story, like walking into them, even though I had kind of temporarily mislaid the idea that we have hand signals.
I would agree. Why don't you roll a d6?
86, that's okay. You.
Rich, I think you also have
Ooh,
helped
it's a
those who
6.
couldn't help themselves
No,
in this.
I
Very
rolled a
good.
D10. I rolled
Oh,
a D10.
That's
I'm
not
sorry.
good. So Rich, why don't you roll a d6 as well? Actually, you only have one.
Yeah, I don't need
stress,
to roll, so
you
I'll
can
just
get rid of that.
That sounds awesome. Thank you.
4.
Mhm.
Oh, I have something written called tired under Fallout. Should I remove that?
Yes, you would have had time for that to
Okay. Just
to
want to
have
make
faded
sure
away.
before I just
Yep.
clicked it away. Awesome.
Yep, that was a minor that you had. It is gone. All right. They're looking at you and kind of look over at you for where do we need to go?
Well, we have no convenient place to drop you whole and recentered.
better scatter, I think.
Well, it is possible that I could make this place a respite or sanctuary, and then stepping out of character so that I'm explaining to the player characters, I don't think this is the greatest idea, but I can mark a room as sacred to the goddess, barring entry of trespassers. And if I'm present in the area, I can stop or slow unwelcome guests from coming inside, giving them a
that's
D6
neat.
stress.
That's nice,
That
but
seems pretty cool. But
that seems very, but it's very temporary solution, right? I mean,
Well, I mean,
but we could talk, so that might not be the worst thing, though.
yeah.
So then
that's
I'll
a
get to do
pretty
that.
cool- Yeah,
I'll
I like
get to
that.
doing that.
So they, you kind of have moved up the river. They will find a place for you to kind of direct them so you can seal it. It kind of needs that spot so that you, duck into a cellar real quick as you begin doing your ritual there. That is such a cool one.
I've never gotten to use it, so I'm pretty excited. It is a D3 stress to mind, so I'm going to go ahead and roll that.
All right.
I rolled a D6, so I take 3 stress, of course, because that's when I roll high. Awesome.
Oh,
It's okay.
I should have let you do your
No,
your
no. It
D6
should have happened when it happened.
afterwards.
Happen when it happens. No, because I did the thing before. It's all good. This
right.
is cool.
As you set up this place, you could hear the tromp of boots, and kind of peeking through a crack, you see a troop of 9 guard, and they know exactly where they're going. They go straight to that stairway and head down to the riverside, and kind of disappear out of your sight. You could figure they're running up into that steward area that y'all went to. You get the impression they were looking about, but maybe the element of the magic, it just kind of glanced off of your hiding space. And after maybe a minute, you hear 2 sets of footsteps, one of them heavily booted, the other probably a softer soul, as you see coming into the onto the dock, the mole in handcuffs being sort of dragged along by a guard captain, the mole, the guy that ran off. And he is definitely giving the once over to this area, as he's kind of says, you say they were tipped off. What you mean? Yeah.
Look, somebody came in, they ran. Look,
Somebody came in.
another cell. I don't know how they got word, but somebody from another cell came in, got them moving. I'm
All
really
right.
quick.
Don't go. Go ahead.
I need to get out and do the signal, otherwise they would have been long gone. I mean, I don't know how much time they had. They can't be far.
Yeah, you gave the signal. And he
Can I activate? Well, I'm trying to figure out how to use a little white lie.
Ooh.
To blur the lines between truth and fiction and manifest something in the world. Mark D3 stress to cast the.
Well, I think you could use this. It makes sense to me. What's the lie you tell him and the world?
I'm like, look, before you threw the cuffs on me, I was gonna show you a like gesture to the pocket, like just and still maybe some sort of visual, like physical item that would be the actual.
Gotcha.
I don't know what it would be. Could it be like a Staries kind of ring thing, or it could even be like a slither, like what looks like a slither, something that kind of.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Like
yeah, so you kind of
I'd have to mark D3 stress.
right,
Yeah.
roll your D3 stress. The three of you see the mole pull back something on pull his sleeve back, and is this what you wanted to see, or something along those lines? As
they don't exactly give these out in the market.
He looks at you. Well, I don't know why you weren't given the code word, but for sure it's you. Look.
And the dagger? If I haven't been uncuffed.
He reaches down and uncuff you. Let's hold off on weapons from it. Just stay here.
Don't lose
look. Don't worry. I'm going to kind of look around. Let's make sure that none of your comrades got away. And you see him start walking the docks. The three of you inside notice he's giving a pretty good once over to all of the storefronts, and he's getting closer to you.
I think I would act out like stretching out my arms, but like, oh, that's those handcuffs. Ooh. And then one of my hands would do the ministry signal.
Ooh.
You don't have that quickness of movement, right? Slivering up or not.
Yeah. You might also pick up on that.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye on that guy, you do see them make the ministry signal. As the guard captain gets to the cellar door, and something must have attracted his attention as he reaches for it. But you could see, there in the darkness, looking up his kind of through the slats, his face, as he reaches down for it. And there's this like squinting up of his face. His hand sort of trembles as it reaches for the door. He kind of steps back and kind of holds his, shakes it off, kind of moving away from the door, checking past it as he suffered a good chunk of stress.
Look, I mean, it's
Five
been like
prayers.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's been like 5 minutes. They had a good head start. We should be wasting time going for every storefront that's just literally outside their hidey hole. We need to get feet on the street.
He says, about that time you hear from down below. Now, I'm going to give an option here. What are the three of you doing inside? You see this guard captain has, in Airmich, you can recognize that he's been a little stunned by your magics. You could feel them having triggered. You could feel that kind of pressure as he was going against your will, and you felt his mind sort of break at trying to get to it. He is not in great shape at the moment. He took 4 stress, which is quite a lot of stress.
We want to knock him the fuck out?
what would that gain us? They would come looking for him sooner
Sure.
rather than later. And we'd have knocked him out, and then what?
Well, we don't have to worry about him seeing us as we leave, and it gels our not the mole's story of, oh, well, looks like they got you.
And it looks like that they're going to take the
Okay.
mole with them. I mean, it is
Oh.
worth noting he's got the mole right there. They're chatting it up. It looks like I'm not trying to tell y'all what to do, but if y'all
We get
had
Gerald
intention
too. Yeah.
of talking to the mole, there he
I mean-
is.
Wait, he's not talking to the mole, he's talking to Gerald in the shape of the mole, right?
But y'all don't know that.
Of course we know that. He made the
Why?
hand signal.
He made the hand signal of the ministry, which this guy is a mole in the ministry.
Oh, right. But he doesn't have that speed of movement the mole had.
That is a presumption that you could be making, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gerald went after him, and Gerald can take people's faces. And I trust Gerald to do his job. Other things, maybe not so much, but to do
Look at
this
all this
job,
faithfulness, man.
no, but he's good at what he does.
Yeah.
All right.
I definitely gestured to my professional ass beater to knock this guy the fuck out.
He nods and pushes open the door and comes out clocking him. Jen, roll us a fight
All right.
plus low society, I think would work or would do on this.
All right.
Or crime.
While that roll's happening, where do you think I should apply that 2 stress I got from doing a little magic
Doing your
light?
that'll go into mind.
First, I'm going to Golden
Fantastic.
Gods Arcana to give myself the crime domain. Let's see how much stress I take. 2 silver. Hey, the 1.
Nice.
Let's see here. I'm just gonna say. So then I'll roll fight and crime.
Rich, do you care? You would be in a position to help if you wished.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if, like, it doesn't say, but I was worried. Do I need to keep up the right? But yeah, I think I'd take the stress.
No, I think once you've got
I'm
it
helping.
up, yeah,
I'm helping take a dive. Please, please, please.
excellent.
Doing it.
So we have Aramitz and Gulaset rushing up to clock this guy.
Got a 9.
Oh, very good. You hit him with said cudgel. I believe he does he have like a number? He does like a D6.
It's like he does like a D6.
Yeah, roll it up real quick. I don't think it's going to make a difference, but it could be a terrible roll.
Who knows? 2.
It is enough. Had to have been. He has 6. So the two of you, Aramitz, you go low as Golaset goes high, and there is the thunk of the cudgel hitting him at the base of the skull as this guy collapses, stunned unconscious.
And I think there's a moment where Aramis looks to Gosek, gives him a thankful nod, like, yeah, thank you for taking care of business.
Thank you. Fedara, what you doing?
Setting this guy off to the side, laying him out, checking his pockets. I can't resist.
You find a pistol in there.
Mine now. And yeah, if there's nothing else exciting, then that's all for that. And then
There's a dagger that you recognize. It's Gerald's.
oh, hey, look at this. And I'm like Vanna Whiting it.
Gerald, what are you doing?
You're muted.
Yeah, they're in like the little shop front off to the side. They could have dragged him in through the door. Just to be
Through
clear.
the cellar door. Yeah, they kind of shoved him off to the side.
I had to like walk just calmly down the steps. Like, guess it's still in the false face, and like, mine, I think. To the dagger.
And I hold it back a little bit, and I'm like, what's the best thing to order at the Kraken Barrel?
Never the food.
All right.
You hear from the river the sound of the troops moving back, and one has given a yell up. They're not here, Cap. As you guys, are y'all like bugging? Are you taking the captain with you and leaving there?
I would not want to kill a paladin at all.
He's not. He's just these are just city guard. But I mean, you may not want to just kill a guy.
Still don't want to kill a guard.
Nah, I'll leave him here.
Okay. And y'all start heading out as you hear the sounds of troop. Cap, where are you? And they start fanning out. And it is highly likely they would have fanned out in this area pretty solidly to look over as y'all head out to see if anyone had remained. You jet back. Did you tell the other three? I mean, you'd kind of told them you'd scatter, but had they stuck with you when you hid?
Oh, I want to stick with this woman. I want to know about that book.
Okay, so I think they probably hid in with you, and when you did the knocking out the guard cap, they were like, "Oh, okay, cool." And so they're bugging with y'all at the moment.
I think that's the most interesting outcome.
Okay. And so running through the streets, it's easy. This is your neighborhood, hiding quickly and moving towards more familiar environs. Are we going to the same hidey hole? You plan on burning it, Gerald? Probably better than most other places.
If only Blakely found out where it is. That's basically the same as it being hidden still.
Yeah.
And so these three members of the other cell follow you as you get back to the room. And once they're inside and have a mother, thanks. We would have been made.
You have been made.
Yeah.
Because your old friend here, who's not that one.
I think I ditched the mask. As soon as I took the dagger from Panara, I would have ditched it.
Your mole friend probably told them who you were, so you might consider relocating to the homelands, or at least taking a vacation.
Wow. Stellan, I would have never imagined that. Where is he? I mean, that guy seemed to think you were him.
I just give them a cold look, like, do you want the answer?
Oh. And the other woman goes, good, the son of a bitch. I'm glad he's dead.
Happy to oblige.
Who was he?
If it gives you any comfort, it is likely that it was not ultimately his choice, but he was being magically controlled by something called slivers.
Heard a little rumor about them, but didn't know
he had one.
much. Really?
Yeah. Did you see how he moved? People don't move that quick without a sliver, or magical assistance.
He's always been fast and an amazing scout. Just thought maybe.
I'm sorry for your loss. The Staries have decided that they will have their own ministry, and we are no longer needed.
This must be what's happened to the other cells. You know, we've all been on high alert. I'm sure you had heard that half a dozen have been busted.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you had any contact with? I leave the pause open because I don't trust them still.
No.
Our Magister gave us this mission. We were supposed to be going to pick up a book that's on one of the ships. It's called The River Goddess. We're supposed to, should have been easy to find. Big book, supposed to have, I think, genealogies of this Steries house that's come into the city.
Interesting.
Yes, that could be very useful.
Well, I mean, provided, I guess the mission's blown now, though.
I mean,
I'll glance over at Gerald. I've done some of my own research into the genealogy of the Steries, but original records are always more useful.
yeah.
You think it's worth?
Why not?
Hmm.
After all, if this mission was supposed to be blown, I think that it's fun to snub their noses in something else.
I mean, they're going to be busy hunting. That keeps their attention.
Our Magister, well, you've already heard her name. I heard your friend here ask us about her, Latira. I'm sure she would appreciate it if you recovered it, or we'd help as much as we can.
Understood. What are your
Well,
skill sets?
Our scout isn't with us anymore, but she points over to the other man, weapon specialist, points to the other woman, our medic, and I'm good with machines and stuff like that.
Interesting. All right. Let's say that we
Yes.
do this and we continue on with your plan, supplementing your loss of your scout. And I gesture to Vizar. I'm sorry, you had something you were curious about.
I just wondered if they had any intelligence yet, gathered yet about the river goddess and what kind of ship it is and such like.
It came from the home nations. It has a fairly small crew, it's a fairly small boat, bringing in mostly, small and valuable stuff. And they're not smugglers, but what we were told, they'd only have a skeleton crew. Most of the rest of them are all enjoying their, leave. And we should have been able to slide in, slide out, but holy shit. If he made us, then he's probably told him about Latira.
Latira is more valuable than the book.
We should go warn her.
How do you contact her?
We
Where's the
have,
nearest dead drop?
we have one. We're not really from the docks. We're up from Ivory Row.
All right. Then let's get you to Ivory Row post haste so that you can make your contact.
Well, I hate
Would
to
you know-
ask you this, but if y'all could complete the mission, we could try to let her know. Maybe your magister's still clean. You could get the information to the higher ups.
Hmm.
We're probably gonna have to dip Spire, or at least go down deep and hide for a while.
Yeah.
Well, the woman goes, my practice. Oh shit.
Would it make more sense if you went to go for Latira and us go for the book? Because we're
That's what she was suggesting.
okay. Cool.
Yeah, y'all follow the mission and then go.
Yeah. Good. seems reasonable that we should go on soonish, as long as the attention is divided.
Look, we'll make our way. Thank you for your help, and we'll try and. I don't guess there's a place to contact you. Look, we leave something at a bar. It's called the Diamond in the Rough. The bartender there is pretty good about keeping people's mail. We'll leave it in the name of Sam.
Okay.
To let
And
you know.
Yeah, I hand them a couple of blue sashes and I say, try to, if you have difficulties leaving, try to pawn one of these off in the blue market.
Thank you.
And I flick. I think I'm running out of badges, so it's probably Zordon and Thurs's badges. So I flick those two. It's only two, but
Well, nothing else. Maybe we can hide Derelictus. Thanks. You saved our lives. And they start heading out. As she gets ready to leave, you see the one that had kind of led them pull out this decent sized box. She says, yes, we won't be needing these. Here, she hands them to you, Fedora. Something I make. They're called flashbang eggs.
Oh my, that sounds self-explanatory.
Yeah, they make a big noise and put out light. Don't look at it. I mean, but there isn't a drow alive who it won't blind for a few minutes.
Risky. Thank you.
And she runs out. You have a box of 4 of these, and it would, light on drow is a bit worse than on people. So a flashbang on drow is a pretty significant thing. But she's right. Don't look at it. So,
One question.
yeah.
Gerald, did you stash the mole's corpse somewhere? And could we still access it? Because I believe he has a sliver. And I think it would be interesting to get our hands on this. Right?
if I had an extra pair of hands, yeah.
Of course, I'll come with you.
All right. Are the other 2 going to wait here, or other 3? Or y'all aren't going on the mission by yourselves while they get the body, are you?
We could do a little survey to intelligence gathering. I mean, Fanara, you'd be a natural walking the dogs, looking at boats, right? Nothing suspicious about that.
Oh, certainly not.
All right.
See,
So we do.
I'd like to purchase
yeah.
some anyway.
So we do a little split up. Gerald, Aramitz, Gerald, I imagine it, between the 2 of you, you're both surprisingly sneaky, if I remember correctly. Aren't you sneaky as well, Aramitz?
I'm not.
You've got
I'm
sneak.
not sneaky.
You've got sneak.
Yeah, I do. I do have sneak. I got low society. I can get around if need to. I'm a hunter. I would like to, there's something Aramis wants to talk to Gerald about on the way, perhaps.
Cool. Then let's have y'all have this conversation as the 2 of you, I mean, silent like shadows and just moving your way through. I think that there'll be moments where you stop and wait, that y'all can have this kind of running conversation. Have it.
Gerald, forgive my nervous nature. It's been a rough few days since we have made our way back to Spire. But I can't help but feel some kind of tension?
Do we really need to deal with that now?
Yes, actually, we do.
Hmm.
Just help me to understand. Everything seemed to be going so well for you and Vizar before. What's changed?
I don't know.
There has to be more than I don't know. Gerald, you're a very intelligent person.
It, I like to be in control of things, and I mean, you've met Vizar. That's not a thing. And it's a thing I love about him, but mm. No, how you and Yvette? You don't need to talk about me. Yvette.
He reaches out, puts a hand on Gerald's shoulder. Gerald, it's all right to have concerns. And Vizar is, and I say this as his friend, a lot. But you need to have a conversation with him. I genuinely believe that the two of you can find an accord. You have to open up your heart a little. The payoff will be well worth it. You do, my friend. Limye commands it through me as one of her many, many representatives. You must have that conversation. Please tell me that you would, at least. I can broker it. I've mediated many relationships.
Please don't. Please. Not for Limia. I respect her, but for you, for me and Vizar, I will.
You will?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
I could tell you wouldn't be to let that go. So
No, I would not. I'm personally invested. And I'm very joyful to hear that you'll at least take that next step forward. The thing is, Gerald, even if it doesn't work out, put forth every effort that you can so that there are no regrets. Do you understand?
no, but kind of, yeah.
That is a priestess,
collect
and
the
she's taken
corpse?
over the chapel since you
What?
asked. Yes, she ran the chapel in my stead.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yes, she grew the chapel greater than I could have hoped. I had charts drawn up by Finara, and she outstripped them. It's a blessing. And
is she cooking the books or something?
no. There are no books, my friend. No books. Just the people who are coming to the chapel.
Okay.
Let's move this body after all this happy talk. As you have reached the alleyway where it had been tossed, you entering into the dark, y'all are both, you're drow, so you see fairly well in dim light, but it's pretty dark off in this alley. But you do see 4 pairs of red eyes low to the ground. Do you put some light on the situation? Do you Shing! Looking at you see the body there, and working their way towards it from an open manhole cover, you see 4 rather, well, either very large rats or very small rat people. They're about the size of, say, a schnauzer. But they have kind of that spindly, fully articulated hands, and they're moving up like they were fixing to grab this buddy and haul it down below for whatever purposes they might have with it. But as you shine the light, they scuttle back down to the manhole cover, one of them reaching and grabbing it back down as they go. And you retrieve the body and make your way with it. Meanwhile, Vanara and Vazar, y'all are walking up the docks. Occasionally, you will see a few guardsmen that are kind of like off and out and checking things. And in fact, one of them comes over and kind of gives you kind of late to be out on the docks.
Unfortunately, my schedule demands it, sir. And I tap my documents folio in my arm.
Oh, of course. Well, business stops for no time, I suppose. And you could tell are giving you kind of like checking what you look like, but it's not clicking for who they're looking for. Be careful out here, though. We've been told there's a criminal gang running around. If you happen to see anybody that's suspicious, feel free to give a yell out. The guards are around. We're here to protect you.
Understood. Thank you, and have a good evening.
You do such heroic work. Warms my heart.
We try our best. We try our best, sir.
Oh, you polished chaser, Vazar.
It's true, isn't it?
And he straightens his tunic and sort of heads on down, clicking his way. Yes?
You never know when it might be useful that somebody thinks well of you if you have to ask them a question or 2 or 3.
It does help.
You're heading along the docks. You, if you wish, can have chatter as you're doing so. I don't know.
Of course. There's a certain amount of light chatter that I think is a requisite.
And you've traveled by quite a few boats. Spire gets in a good crowd of trade. And you see think like tugboat size, it's kind of squatty looking boat. Maybe a 25, 30 foot boat. But broader than a like most. It's not sleek. It's a tubby little thing. But on the side of it, it does. You see the river. What was it? The River Queen? Was that
River Goddess? I think.
Goddess. The River Goddess. On the side, and you could see that there is one guy up there underneath the lantern that's hanging there in the center of the ship, and you can see he's sitting at a table. He's got him a cup of something in front of him, and he's smoking a pipe. He's probably whoever's on watch. That's it. It is normal. You've seen that pretty much on every ship. If they don't have people actively doing stuff, they've always got at least 1 or 2 people and a guard light.
Oh, there's our boat. Rather unassuming, isn't it?
To me, every boat is kind of awesome if it isn't a paddle boat. So, couldn't speak to that. I'm not a
Paddle boats
river
have their own qualities to recommend.
Yeah, they do, but they might. Why don't we ask this fine gentleman who that boat belongs to, though?
And I'll in fact go, ahoy!
He'll kind of look up and come to the side. Yeah. Ahoy there. Can I help you?
Like to inquire as to who owns this boat here.
Oh, Captain Malik.
No. Make a nice note in my folio. Very good. Is Captain Malik available?
No, he and most of the crew have gone into well, have some libations, a little recreation. We got into port yesterday.
Oh, delightful.
I can, if you'd like to leave a message, are you wanting to? I see that you are one of the merchants. You're blue.
We do make it plain.
If you want, I can take a message if you're wanting something transported. We head back to the home nations probably 2 days from now. We're waiting to stock up a little bit of what Spire has to offer.
Oh, understood. Is Captain Malik soliciting shipments himself, or is it really catch as can?
Generally he'll pick up things that he thinks will sell well. We're not a big boat, so we go for, things that are in higher demand, but we're always happy to pick up shipments if someone needs it posted.
All right, understood. I do quite a good deal of trade and transit between the home nations and Spire itself. I might be a valuable way to lower Captain Malik's administrative overhead and the time that he might spend struggling to figure out which shipments are going to give him the best value on his boat.
Oh, really? And he's kind of moved over to the gangplank, and he's walking down towards you. You see he's pulled out like a little book. Says, if you'd like to put your name in and arrange for him to meet with you, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to. We're freebooters. We share and share alike, each to our station here on the ship.
Oh,
the
excellent.
goddess is we're a right proud crew.
That's the best way to be. I prefer my shippers to be proud and involved in the life of their boat. I find that means the safest shipments and the best working conditions.
It also helps that we don't claim any allegiance to any of the nations. Shh. Boy, the fighting's been terrible. Have you been home lately?
No, I have not. Well, actually, that is a lie.
I think it was 8 months ago.
It was a year ago.
It's sad. Almost makes me feel like Spire's got better things going for it. People seem like they ain't killing each other.
Not so as you'd see it on the streets, yes.
Of course, and he leans in conspiratorially. It can't be easy being around so many of the elf here.
They don't make it easy, that's for certain.
Yeah. Back at the home nations, you can't trust anybody, and there's always one war or another going on, but I don't know. I just couldn't stand being under the boot of those ices.
We find our own comforts, but nothing.
Oh, I mean,
lasts forever.
no offense, man. No offense, man.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And he's held out the book to you.
And I'll make a note and I'll be like, I have like a few specific docking numbers and warehouse locations for proposed meetings that I note down in there.
I'll make sure to give it. He should be back in the morning. They were staying over the night. Just me and my buddy we're on watch, but feel free to come back in the morning.
All right, then I'll see what my schedule allows.
Have a
Make
nice
sure
night.
that Captain Malik knows he is free to send a runner if my schedule does not allow.
Absolutely. Sir, ma'am. And he begins heading back up the gangway.
And I'll
Yeah.
continue my work.
You continue the walk again. see some guards on the way as y'all make y'all's way back. And Gerald, Aramitz, are you taking the body back with you there, or what are you doing with this body?
I don't know how to
Like,
remove
turn
a
it
sliver.
over. Turn it over. I mean, I've seen in a vision a slither being inserted. I think I would pat down the body. I didn't get a chance to do that before.
Why
I
don't we
feel
have
anything.
y'all do an investigation?
Like while I'm investigating, or
We're looking at investigate plus either, oh, I think it'd probably be occult or crime, maybe.
Oh my lord, you've chosen everything we both don't have. That's amazing.
I'm like, I think I would be turning to Aramitz and like, well, if we can find the slither, we'll just don't have to take the body, and then
Yes, of
I
course.
roll 1 dice to try and find.
I'm helping.
All right, you're both up for a potential stressor. I think it's going to be Shadow. Oh, and by the way, Gerald, you should, before we do this, you did successfully pose as a different person and all of that. Why don't you roll you a d6 to relieve some stress?
Yeah, I forgot about that. It's like of the failing at first. Well,
There's a good note in
6.
chat there. do we want to do that instead? This is beyond me, my friend. Perhaps there are others who could ask for help.
Yeah, at the moment, you haven't even found the sliver to chop off the piece.
That's true.
I think I would like look at him like, and which.
Yeah, I would
part?
not recommend either one. Well, you might, Aramitz might be able to take it out once you find it. But yeah, it's the finding it rather than having to haul the body that's our tension point here.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to do it itself, so I start looking over the body.
All right, so the two of you giving it a look. There's a bit of, I imagine you shined your light in close.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got an 8 on
Oh, very good. You note 2 strange things. One, right at the base of his skull, there's sticking out an obsidian piece, a needle of obsidian you recognize as a sliver. The other thing you note is in each of his forearms, kind of where you had made your lie, Gerald. Seems like almost like acupuncture needle, like running down, so that right about here you have the head popping up, but it runs down. Of bone.
Like I noticed and check the other arm. I was like, I'm just trying to pull out that one.
It takes some pulling, but you do. And you see the reason it takes some pulling is that it's barbed all the way down as you and rip it out. No blood, though.
Aramis like puts up maybe a kerchief up to his mouth. I believe that removing slivers from a living person will be extremely grisly.
The usual just nod of agreement.
Do you extract the other 2?
2? What was that? The
One in
arms?
each forearm and
Right,
one at the base of the skull.
I think Aramitz is showing some squeamishness, so Gerald go to the other arm and then
The other arm is
Probably.
exactly the same, and
Yeah.
it pulls out bits of meat as it comes out. But again, no blood. He's dead.
Then, like, knee to the middle of between the shoulders, and then
This
try
one
and pull.
you feel like is going to require like some sort of tool. You can't even get. I mean, it's just the tiniest little bit. You can't. Or you could, carve it out. You got daggers. I don't know if you have tweezers or tongs.
I do, canonically, I do have tweezers and needles and thread.
True.
So I will try with tweezers.
All right. Grabbing hold of it and pulling. At first, it is quite hard. Almost like maybe it was stuck through a bone. And then it comes out much easier. There is a bit of a clearish fluid that flows out from the wound. Looking at the length, Aramitz, you are positive this thing would have gone all the way through the skull and into the brain. You also note on this obsidian thing that it is etched with probably platinum or silver, but I don't know, maybe you have enough eye to kind of distinguish that it's platinum, etched with the old drow tongue. And Aramitz, I think you might be the one who has the best grasp of it. This would be kind of like an archaic version of what's spoken in the home nations. Y'all would speak kind of a much more dialect version of what's spoken now in the homelands, but you can tell looking at it, there is symbols of the family Steris and symbols that say to you possession or property, ownership.
I definitely like to mark their territory. You see here, Gerald, the Steris name clearly written.
I'm opening up that drain with the rat people coming and just like shoving the body into the. Doesn't deserve better.
Slides in, and there's a moment before you hear it splash into the waters below. Then you hear a sort of chittering and scuttling as you lower the lid. I think we have the two of you fall back, and we're back together, the four. We're at 10 till. Do we feel like we want to try the boat? We could even deal with it in a very meta way, in the sense of, do a little bit like a Blades. Have it be something along the lines of, you just say, this is the style of way we're wanting to go. We're going to go and chat up the person, or we're going to be completely sneaky, or we're going to go and bum rush them. And then we can kind of hit it there. I don't think it's important. I don't intend for it to be a sort of, oh my God, you're going to be fighting the horrible thing that lives in their hold or anything. I don't see that as a big need for us. So why don't we do that? Because we're wanting to close up in the next, 10 minutes, or is it 40 minutes?
I'd appreciate 10-ish. We can go a
Cool.
little bit over, but 40 would be really pushing it for me.
Okay, then why don't we do then? What is the approach you would like to take to handling the boat? Finara and Vizar,
Not to put a crink on this, but Vizar would really like to look at these slivers. If the two of them bring them back. because he studied these things in the library of the Vermisian Knights. We don't have to do this now. We can do this next time.
Right. You
But-
absolutely will be able to
Okay.
do that. Yeah, we will definitely hit that. So, Fenara, you went and scouted the boat. What are you suggesting as an approach for handling getting in there and getting this book?
I suggest that that I offer the boat prime docking in return for, a personal meeting with the captain on the ship. And I just happen to bring Gerald with me.
Your attendant.
And one of my attendants. And Gerald, sneaks around, finds the book, wraps it in a specially acquired oilcloth that I give him before we even mount the ship. And then, tosses it over the side to be recovered by somebody else that is allied with myself who has a boat.
I don't have a boat, but I can be in the paddle boat that you can provide me and Aramex, maybe.
I'd rent you a paddle boat, girl.
Okay. I think I can navigate a paddle boat. I did that before, at least.
This seemed
Jordan
like
has given us the experience.
this seemed like a good approach to you, Rich.
Yes.
Okay, Gerald, you feel like this is a good approach? Bizarre, sounds like you're in. So I think setting it up the next morning, you're able to, procure a little boat to come up beside the goddess. Fenara, you and Gerald go up to meet with the captain. Captain Malik is a very nice person. And more than happy to, you were going to suggest a new docking spot, or is that just, you're coming up there to do that, but.
Yeah, I think that's a part of a sweetener, perhaps, although getting an invitation to, dock in a more prime location sent to them by like a messenger. And then, they redock and I'm waiting for them. And
Okay, yeah, we could go with that. So you're bringing them into a home ground as he maneuvers the boat down. Oh, thank you very much, ma'am. This is quite a deal for us. We've taken a beating in dock fees.
oh, understood, especially as freebooters, as I understand.
Yes, come aboard here. And so he brings you up and he begins chatting up. And he's basically giving the spiel of how secure his stuff is, going back and forth, and blah, blah, blah. Gerald, you're going to slide away while this distraction is going on. And you've been given the information of, what it looked like. And you scoot through the boat. I am going to have a roll just because of the potential, not for immediate fallout, but for something later. So why don't we have you do a sneak plus commerce?
Well, I will sneak them and not commerce because I can't do.
Or deceive. You could do the deceive.
Deceive and disguise on the fly.
Yeah, I think that would work.
3.
Yep.
A 4.
Ooh, lovely. So would you be so kind as to roll me a d6 for your fallout in shadow?
A 1.
Oh, you lucky dog. As you find the book and wrapping it in its oil skin, you make your way back to the back where you're to cast it off to the side. Down below, Aramitz, Fazar, you see Gerald come to the butt of the, to the stern of the boat and kind of casually toss this wrapped package towards you. However, as he tosses it, it would seem he did not tie it very well.
Oh no, the poor book.
And as it comes flying at you, the covering comes off, the book sort of flapping in the breeze. And as it gets to the boat, it is underthrown just slightly.
Can we catch it, maybe?
I will let y'all have a chance to catch this.
Thank you.
I think this is pursue. Pursue plus commerce or crime.
Yeah. I think none of the two of us has crime or commerce, and I think Armitz has pursue though.
I will try to catch hold of this.
Dive out and grab it.
Yeah.
I will help you by keeping the boat steady.
Very
Excellent.
good.
So then that's 3, 1 for trying, 1 from help, 1
Mhm.
from
It is
my
indeed.
skill. Okay. And I'll roll d10s this time just because.
It's a good idea.
And I did check.
It helps
Alex
when you roll
did
the
roll
correct.
d6s. It just didn't seem like it.
What?
Alex
Oh.
didn't roll d6s. It
Oh.
just seemed like it. A 10.
Bravo. You seeing it fluttering and it's going to be short. You reach out, stretching far as Bizarre, like, holding the boat steady. And just at your fingertips, you grab it and pull it back in.
Ooh.
And you paddle your little boat back to the docks as Fenara and Gerald, Captain Malik is like, please, again, any sort of post, you've done me a good favor here. I will return return it in kind.
Oh, excellent. I, in fact, have a shipment of manufactured fabrics going out that I believe would be of great interest to some traders in the home nations. But I have not been able to find drayage.
Well, then, consider it found.
Marvelous. Then we will arrange for that, and I will have one of my clerks follow up with you with tonnage and ID and
Absolutely.
other
And
minutia.
if you care to send a list with me of certain smaller type items that you'd like us to bring on the return trip, we try to make the trip every 2 to 3 months.
Oh, excellent. Very good. I will have that sent along as well.
Whole time I'm just jotting on nonsense on a piece of paper and nodding like,
He's just, drawing little stick figures.
And
One of the stick figures has a typewriter.
awesome. You make your way off the ship, and we see our group heading back. Book held, slivers off somewhere protected, and next time around we will find out more about them. And that's where we're going to end for the night. Now, first off, you saved a cell of the ministry. You may all take a low advance.
Marvelous. I'm going to spend that to boost my silver up from 4 to 5.
And Rich, I don't know if you weren't here for me to mention this, but underneath on the character page of our character keeper, underneath the Spire book picture, you see I have now, there is something called control, and I have a 1 by it. That is Steri's control over Spire.
Oof. What is the scale of this? 1 to 10?
It's
1 to
done
100?
It's done as Fallout, just like anything else.
Ah, nice.
And as you have stymied their position here, trying to knock out the ministry cell, I'm actually going to reduce that by the 1. So down to 0. So controlled stress is at the moment down. So, thank y'all for playing. Yes, sweet.
Sorry. I was just wondering if you think that I spend enough time in the Vermissian library to have acquired the technology domain.
If you want to spend it for it, yes, absolutely.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Absolutely. I think you had plenty of opportunity, and other things that you've done have given you the opportunity for that. So feel free.
Much gappy gap in our skill base.
Yeah, it is nice to remember that you can get a skill, a domain or a skill through low advance, or you could take up resistance by 1.
Ooh. I might take crime because I feel that is a.
I think you might should.
I think Sorden has it, but still, good idea.
A lot of your sneaking is kind of criminally.
Sorden does have it, but yeah, it's probably a good idea. Absolutely.
Yeah. I've sworn it off, so.
Wow,
Well-
no one has steel.
I've sworn that off too.
Unless you need to
Yeah.
buy it.
I don't need that. That's Gerald's
Ah.
thing, I think.
Yeah, I should buy a pickpocketing from them. That would be pretty funny.
Well, we're already a little over 5, so I suppose we don't really have time for a Stars and Wishes, or do people feel they have a time for Stars and Wishes? I'm either way.
1, 2, 3 nodded on weighing
Yeah.
whether we do it. I'd love to. I can make the time.
I
But
will
Okay,
I
time.
would
I
rather
think
rush
if we
anyone
can if we can keep it kind of quick, I can make it work.
All right. Well,
On
then
my
let's keep
schedule.
it pithy. Let's start then. We'll start with you, Alex. Stars.
Yeah, I love the little Aramit's Yvette's, and being put in the spot by Aramit's as Gerald. Yeah, I'll stop there, so I'm not taking everything and keep it moving.
All righty, lovely. Thank you very much. Rich, Stars.
There were a lot of good moments. I think I will go with Alex for Gerald's just quick thinking when he didn't give the signal and how to react to it. That was just so nerve-wracking, and you pulled it off, and I was quite impressed.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Jen, Stars.
I love seeing more fallout from the Gerald Visar conflict and how it plays out amongst the both of them. I'm a little disappointed that that frankly I, as Funara, didn't bring anything up with Visar, but the time will come. I loved seeing the also reflective recklessness from both characters. That was great. And yeah, I'm going to throw in and say also that it was so nice to see Aramitz and Yvette back together. So,
That's nice.
Thank you very much. Sabine, Stars.
Yeah, it was a fun session. I liked it. Stars to Aramitz and Gerald for that little talk. I love that. And stars to Funara for talking to that person on the boat, like a business person does.
Mm.
I always enjoy that. So yeah, and did I probably missed a lot, but we are supposed to be keepers. So yeah, and stars to you, Tyler, for running this fun session.
Oh, thank you very much. And Sabine, we'll start with you for wishes.
Wishes. Oh yeah, I wish to see that talk between Visar and Gerald. I really wanted to see that. I really want to see Gerald try.
Awesome. Worth remembering and something we should have soon. Jen, wishes.
I wish to see some Sorden content next week. What's he been up to? What's he doing?
Mhm.
Other than that, no, I think that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much. Rich, wishes.
Yeah, the wish of wish Jan could have been here. Would have liked that. Wishing for more continued progress, like not that we didn't have any, but continued progress on unfolding with all the slivers. It's It's a scary, horrific thing and kind of fascinating. I'm quite liking it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And Alex, wish.
I mean, I want the Fanara bizarre conversation as well. That was a conversation over slithers or something. Perfect time. Zordon back and yeah, that conversation.
Yeah.
The bizarre
Love
one.
to loop in the clinician, frankly.
Yeah, that's a
And
good
be
one.
like-
that's a good suggestion.
I know that you want to leave the city, but what if we hid you for a bit in return for some help?
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. My wishes, I do wish we have Jan back. I am hoping that because we get to see him with the leader of the snakes, the serpents there, and perhaps this underwater venture that they went on. And I am looking forward to seeing the slivers there. And I'm also agreeing. I want to kind of, this is starting to blow up things of, the ministry's under assault and all of that. So I'm looking forward to getting really big things that we're looking at and going, holy crap, we've got to act. So there we go. Thank you all for playing. And I'll turn it back over to you, Rich.
Yes. Thank you for running the game, Tyler. Thanks everybody for playing and watching. It's been a pleasure, and we will continue this campaign. It's about to eclipse and become the longest campaign that I've ever had on my channel, which is very exciting. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you in a week.